What's up, Ocean? You got Matt here, and welcome to the first video on the channel after the release of the Crown Tundra DLC. And honestly, someone said it before, but it is more like the Crown Tundra. This thing, I don't know what it is about it. This DLC is not as impressive, as crazy, as ground-shaking to the competitive scene as we expected it to be. In terms of the new mons, obviously there are re-releases or the returning mons, which I am very, very happy with. A lot of them, for the most part, but the new mons are kind of cheeks. They suck, I'll be honest. I'm surprised. I thought Calyrex was going to be something cool. It is not. This Jimmy Neutron looking thing is really not great, but we'll go over everything. We're going to talk about a bunch of different Pokemon in this, some winners and some losers, so I'd recommend sticking around for the video. If you guys enjoy competitive Pokemon content, do me a massive favor and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers by the end of 2020. And like the video as well if you did enjoy. And comment down below what is your biggest disappointment and biggest happy moment, I guess, of the Crown Tundra DLC. Let's go ahead and jump into it. Starting off with Calyrex. This thing, its stats are terrible. What is going on? This is just a worse Celebi. 100 HP, 80 in the rest. That is not good. Unnerve as its ability is just bad. It's a worse Celebi. It's a bit of a better Executor, I'll say. I find that this Pokemon, if you're looking at a tier to draft specifically for Draft League, you're going to be looking at mostly like a tier 3, tier 4 Pokemon because it's, again, doesn't get rocks. Like, Stealth Rocks is something that makes Celebi a lot better than it normally would be considered. Its offensive moves on Calyrex cannot touch Steel types, cannot touch Fire types at all. It gets like Psychic moves, it gets Grass moves, it gets like a Bug move and Pollen Puff, I believe, and like that's pretty much it. It's kind of sucks how bad its typing is and how bad its coverage is. At the same time, there's really not much room for improvement with it. I think it doesn't even get, look, its only recovery as well as like Life Dew and Leaf Seed is just not good enough. I think in doubles it can have some, I guess, consideration, but there are definitely better mons out there. And I don't even think it's allowed in doubles in VGC anymore because I think it and the horse are not allowed. Regardless, I think this Pokemon is going to find its niche as a very supportive Pokemon with Leaf Seed, dual screens, being an annoying son of a bitch, does not get U-turn. That just sucks. The fact that it doesn't get U-turn is so unfortunate. It'd be a lot better if it did. Obviously, I think everything would be a lot better with U-turn, but it doesn't. Tons of weaknesses by being Bug and Psychic, one of the worst typings in the game in general, and I'm really hoping that there's just something that makes it a lot better. Obviously, there's the other forms it has when it combines with the two horses, but those are not going to be allowed in League at all. They're too broken. They're way too good. 680 on their stats, just insane. Way too good. Doubling up its abilities in Unnerve and the different neighing abilities. Way too much. It's way too strong. But let's go ahead and jump into the next month. I'm going to go ahead and cover the horses now. We'll start off with Glastrier, the ice horse, which has decent stats. I mean, they're decent. It's like a tank, but it's an ice type. It's going to be wanting to take hits, but it's an ice type, and that's a terrible defensive typing. Well, we'll see. 100 HP, 145 attack, 130 defense, 65 special attack, 110 in its special defense, and 30 in its speed. Very solid on Trick Room. Its ability, Chilling Neigh, boosts its attack when it gets a KO. That's basically Moxie. Very, very useful. I kind of like the ability. Moxie is fantastic. Only thing is, you're going to have to take multiple hits, and its only recovery is rest. If it got Synthesis or Recover or Moonlight or something, it'd be so much better. Unfortunately, it doesn't. Basically, its moves, you're getting stuff like Icicle Crash, stuff like Iron Defense is nice to have, I guess, if you're running Body Press, which it does get, by the way. It does get Body Press. Throat Chop, High Horsepower, Heavy Slam, Close Combat is very, very useful. Mega Horn and Crunch as well. It gets access to Icicle Spear for multiple hit moves. Smart Strike as well as way to hit Fairy types outside of Heavy Slam. So I think it's decent in terms of its coverage. It's just, its typing isn't great. I think it's going to be a very comfortably a tier 2 Pokemon. Maybe bordering along the lines of tier 1 depending on if people can find some really good pairings with it. I just find that with its speed, that's definitely a hindrance. It just feels like it's kind of limited in what it can do. It'll be a wall breaker, it'll be a choice bandmon, kind of like, imagine Mudsdale, but offensive. I think that's what it's going to be, and it's unfortunate because I felt these things had so much more potential, but they really don't. Now here, in my opinion, is one of the biggest letdowns, one of the two biggest letdowns in the entire DLC, and that's Spectrier. This thing looked so cool, this thing was awesome, everyone was looking forward to it because its ability as well, Grimne, boosting your special attack after getting a KO. Are you kidding me? We've been asking for a special Moxie forever, and we finally get one on a Pokemon that has 145 special attack and 130 in its speed. And we're like, this thing is broken. This thing is getting banned as soon as it hits the field. No, this thing is not getting banned. This thing is terrible. No, I'm not going to say that. It's not terrible. It's still got 145 special attack, Ghost, Stab, Moxie for special moves, but its coverage sucks. Shadow Ball. That's basically it. You think I'm joking, but I'm not. Shadow Ball is its best special attack. It's a stab option, not surprising, right? Then it gets Hex. After that, it's like Mud Shot, Swift, Snarl. That's pretty much it. I definitely think a Hex set is going to be very, very possible. Foul Play would be kind of cool. It's not that defensive, so it can't really take advantage of that too much. It's only got 60 in its HP and 80 in its, or 60 in its defense and 80 in its special defense with 100 HP. Not the best, but I mean, it's possible. Foul Play could be useful, like I said. Nasty Plot is nice to have. Obviously, Dark Pulse and Calm Mind as well, as same thing as Taunt. I just think that with the abundance of dark types coming into the game, the abundance of normal types coming into the game, those are two types this Pokemon is really going to struggle with, and it's a damn shame they're not going to be as good as we thought they were going to be. 580 and its stats is fantastic. Its special attack and speed are just to die for. I just don't think it's going to be that good. I think it's going to be sitting tier 2, possibly even tier 3. I don't know. Tier 2, I think, is where these horses are going to lie. We got to see how the meta shakes up. We got to see, but I think they're major disappointments. That's all I got to say. They're just major disappointments. Moving on, our next mod we're going to be covering today is going to be the Regis, the brand new ones, Regieleki and Regidrago. And we'll start off with the one that I think is worst first, and that's going to be the Regieleki. This thing is Electrode with arms. I'm going to be real. It's Electrode with arms. It's got 200 base speed, 100 in both of its attacking stats, 50 in both of its defensive stats, and then 80 HP. This Pokemon gets electric coverage, normal coverage, and that's it. I'm looking like it gets acrobatics. And that's it. It's crazy. It gets nothing else. I cannot believe it. Acrobatics is the only move that is not normal or electric that it gets. That's an attacking move, at least. And the reason I'm saying it's going to be Electrode, but with arms, is because it gets access to dual screens, and it gets access to spin, excuse me. So, and you get Volt Switch as well, and Extreme Speed, which is cool. So, basically, to me, another very supportive Pokemon. I think it's going to find its way on teams. It's a very niche Pokemon. Gets Volt Switch. It could do some work in some very specific matchups if you're looking at that, but I think it's definitely a tier 4 Pokemon if we're looking at draft. I think its speed at base 200 is cool. It has that speed. It can be modest a lot or adamant a lot. I just think it's not going to be the best benefits for your picks at that point. If you need an electric type, fine, go for it. I just think there's going to be so much better options, especially when you got things like Raichu around there, which are immune to electric type attacks. It's got better ability than this Transistor, which from my understanding is just a boost to your special or to your electric attacks. Not the best, but at the end of the day, I find that this Pokemon is going to be hard-walled by ground types, and it's really got no kind of way to beat them at all because you don't really want to be running Swift that often in Draft League. Probably not a recipe for success with Swift. Then we're going to talk about Regidrago now. Regidrago is cool. I think it's better. It's got 200 HP, which is insanely fat. Think of Chansey and Blissey as how fat this thing is. 100 in both of its offensive stats, and then 80 in its speed. Not bad at all. Basically flip the speed and HP with Regieleki and you get Regidrago. And I think this thing is cool, but only because it gets access to Dragon Dance. The rest of its moveset is not that great. You get access to Crunch, Dragon Claw, Hammer Arm, which is only fighting type attack. That's not good. The fact that you want to be boosting up your attack and your speed with Dragon Dance and you have to lower it just to go for an attack that's a fighting type move is definitely a problem. You get access to Thunder Fang and Fire Fang. Very useful to have to get around Steel types that Fire Fang is. Very useful to get around bulky Water types that Thunder Fang is. Very nice. But other than that, that's it. That's it, really. Body Slam, Substitute, Reversal, not cutting it. I feel like it's definitely got some problems. It gets Scale Shot, which could be nice, could definitely come in handy, but I definitely find that when you have a Pokemon that's got this much HP and you're lowering its defense even more, it's not going to take the hit, it's not going to take the Ice Shards that are coming at it, and you got Dragon Dance already, so why just go for Scale Shot unless you absolutely need the damage off on your opponent, and you do get better physical Dragon moves like Dragon Claw and Outrage. I don't know, we'll see. Next up, let's talk about some of these legendary birds, these retrains of these legendary birds. We got Articuno starting off, Gallerian Articuno with competitive as its ability. Broken. Love it, love it, love it. Its stats are awesome. 90 in its HP, 85 in its attack and defense, 125 special attack, 100 special defense, and 95 in its speed for 580 in total. Competitive as its abilities. And then you got Psychic and Flying as its typing. Much, much better than Ice and Flying, that's for sure. Its signature move, Freezing Glare, has a chance to freeze your opponent, which is awesome. Really cool move. It's a Psychic type attack that can do that as well. Recover, fantastic. Ancient Power and Agility to boost up your speed stat, which is very, very useful to have. Dual Screens is nice as well. U-Turn for Momentum, always useful. Trick Room, very cool. Air Slash and Hurricane as some moves for its flying stab, as well as Brave Bird. Gets Calm Mind as well, very cool. Shadow Ball and Psyshock and Psychic as well. Probably going to be mostly running Freezing Glare, a flying move, U-Turn, and maybe Shadow Ball if you're running that, Roost or Recover in this case, I guess. So it's not the greatest thing in the world, but it definitely has some advantages that the other Articuno did not. Doesn't always have to run Boots now, which is very cool. I think it's definitely a huge possibility that Articuno becomes a really solid mon. Definitely at least tier 2, I'd say. Very, very cool. I'm excited to see what it can do. It's got a really unique typing, not unique, a lot of Pokemon have it, but it's a really cool typing nonetheless, and I'm hoping that this Articuno can be a lot better than the current one is. The next mon we're going to be talking about is Zapdos Gallerian form. This thing gets Defiant, oh my god, 125 attack, 90 HP and defense and special defense, 85 in its special attack, and 100 speed. This thing is definitely the cream of the crop when it comes to the new Gallerian birds. Fighting and flying. What more need I say? This typing is awesome. Shared by Hawlucha, it's a very, very strong typing to have. It gets access to Drill Peck for its flying type attack, which is not bad at all considering the type of flying moves there are. It does get Brave Bird as well, which is very nice to have, but you don't always want to be taking that recoil. You get Agility to boost up your speed, Blaze Kick to deal with steel types as well as grass types, which obviously are covered by the flying and fighting types, but you get Throat Chop to deal with ghosts and psychics. You get Close Combat, which is amazing, a bulk up, just fantastic. So you get access to set of sweeping abilities, you get access to really unique and awesome coverage, you get U-turn as well. I'm trying to see if it gets Roost right now. It does not look like it's getting Roost. It doesn't look like it gets any opportunity to recover back its HP, which is a good thing considering how bulky this mon is, how strong it is, and how fast it is. Oh my god, this thing is looking like it's going to be one of the best mons in the entire format. I definitely believe this is a tier 1 pick. If you get a chance to draft this in your drafts, go ahead and do it. You may not get another chance. U-turn, coverage, ability to set up, Defiant as well. Guys, give this a shot. I'm definitely excited to get my hands on this Pokemon. I'm really hoping I can grab Gallerian Zapdos, and we'll see what we can do with it. The next mon we're going to be looking at is the Gallerian Moltres. This thing, dark and flying. It is sharing the typing of Yveltal, 90 in its HP, defense, and speed, 125 special defense, 85 in its attack, and 100 in its special attack. Kind of underwhelming. I think it's definitely the coolest design of all three, and it's got a really cool signature move in Fiery Wrath, which has a chance to flinch your opponent. It gets access to Nasty Plot, really, really cool. Hurricane as well. You get access to Dark Pulse, Nasty Plot, Foul Play. It's like basically, think of Yveltal. This is basically Yveltal. It gets like all the same moves. I don't think there's anything else that Yveltal would get that this doesn't. Like, that's pretty much it. The only issue with this thing is its ability. Its ability is Berserk, which, I mean, fine. I don't have really. It's fine. That's all I'll say. It's okay. I believe it's the same ability that Drampa has, which is cool. It boosts its special attack when it's like below 50%. It's fine. Let's put it that way. Looking at it, it does not get any recovery. If I can see, I don't see any recovery, and that's a problem because the whole point is you want to be able to get back your HP, and it can't do that. It doesn't get access to Oblivion Wing like Yveltal does, and that's big. But U-turn, Snarl, Hurricane, Air Slash, Dark Pulse, these are good moves. I'm really excited to see what this Pokemon can do. I'm hoping that it can be really strong. It's going to be more of a special defensive wall, it's looking like, but it can definitely handle its own on offense. Really iffy on those offensive stats right away, but once it gets set up, oh, forget about it. It's going to be hitting things like a Truck, Agility as well, Sucker Punch too, forgot to mention that. Yeah, I'm thinking this is going to be a solid mon. This is a really good thing. Like the new mons before this have been kind of trash, but these ones here I'm really happy about. So yeah, moving on though, let's talk about some other things, some things that are not new mons. We'll talk about, first off, Swampert, huge winner, gets Slip Turn. There's a thread on Smogon right now talking about the different moves that Pokemon have, some notable ones, and I kind of want to cover that. So shout out to Ready to Lose. He is the one, or she is the one who posted this post here from the home data mine. Shout out to them. I'll link the what I found down in the description, so shout out again to them. So Swampert gets Flip Turn. I think it makes it a huge benefit to the water and ground combination. The fact that it gets now Rocks and Flip Turn is a huge advantage compared to something like Gastrodon, which only gets Recovery, something like Seismitoad, which only gets Rocks. I definitely feel like it's a huge benefit, the fact that it gets now Momentum, and Rocks is a definite benefit to it. The Tapus though, this is where we see things. None of them get any tutor moves. I just cannot believe it. It's such a damn shame. Coco, we were so ready to explode. Close Combat, Play Rough, Rising Voltage. Oh my god, it was going to be over. This thing was going to be the best mon in the format. It's not anymore because it doesn't get those. It's still really good, don't get me wrong, but the fact that it doesn't get those is a huge problem with it. Tapu Lele, no Expanding Force. It's still good. It still is. Psychic Terrain, boosted attacks are still one of the best. It's just it does not get that anymore, and that's definitely a problem. It doesn't get Nasty Plot either, unfortunately. Big problem. Landorus I and Landorus T, they don't get Scorching Sands. Now, this is mostly for Landorus I because you're going to be running your Sheer Force Landorus I, and that would be getting a boost from Scorching Sands. You're probably running Earth Power anyways. It's stronger, so there's really no reason not to run Earth Power on that. It's mostly, I think, for that, but at the same time, a defensive Landorus T could run it. It doesn't have the worst special attack. I think it's at 115 actually, which is not too bad, and you should be able to get some good benefit out of that if you were to get it. Unfortunately, it does not. For you Ubers lovers, Pheromosa gets triple axle. That's kind of insane. Ridiculous attack, and then triple axle on top of it. No Technician, which is good. Thank God it doesn't get Technician. It only gets Beast Boost, so there's that. Hurricane for Rayquaza, very nice. Entei, Reversal. So, Body Press from Metagross. That could be very useful, very defensive. Metagross is now a definite possibility. Aurorus finally gets Aurora Veil, huge benefits. If you want to get like very cheap Veil, very cheap Hail, you definitely can now with Aurorus and Sandslash. I definitely feel that that's a very strong option to have late in your draft with a tier 5, tier 4 probably now with Aurorus. I feel it's very strong. And then Tyrantrum gets Play Rough as well. Very cool. I think these changes are very solid. The new mons kind of sucks. The Tapu's not getting any tutor moves really is unfortunate, but what did you expect? A lot of us did expect something broken, but we just aren't going to get it, unfortunately. But anyways, guys, that is it for this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to do me a favor and leave a like on the video. Of course, subscribe to the channel if you have not already. We are approaching 1,000 subscribers, and I really appreciate if you guys joined the Ocean. And there's my Discord down in the description where we're talking about leaks and stuff about draft leaks, so make sure to join that as well. My Twitter is down there as well. And let me know what your thoughts are about the Crown Tundra. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys all next time.